Hi guys, I'm Lauren. Welcome to Pilates. Today we are going to be focusing on core strength and stability. So that's going to be our main focus for the session. Let's get going. So we're going to start by setting up our alignment. So find your hip bones, draw a line all the way down to the floor, and then that's where your feet should be. So we're going to keep in this neutral foot position throughout this opening sequence. From there, you want to make sure your hips are on top of your heels and your shoulders are on top of your hips. So everything's nice and stacked. We're lifting up out of the crown of your head, so already you should be lifting up through your core and have that slight engagement. So if you think about tightening your belt all the way to 100%, and then let it go to about 50, and then let it go to about 30. That's the kind of engagement you want to keep throughout the class. So it's not like super tensing and it's not completely relaxed. You want some engagement happening in this area throughout the class. From there, drop your hands. Just going to take a deep breath in, lift the shoulders up, and then as you breathe out, circle them back and down. So you're just moving with your own breath in your own time, getting those shoulders moving. So we're also going to be working on a lot of mobility in the main joints, so shoulders, hips, knees and ankles. Then we're going to start to make it a little bit bigger, lifting the elbows up, more rotation into those shoulders. Bring the arms all the way up and then straight back down. So again, you can take this slower or faster than me, you don't have to be going at the same speed. As you lift the arms up, I want you to think about pulling your ribs down towards your hips, so you keep this part of your core engaged the whole time. So as the arms come up, we don't want the ribs to flare out, we want to keep that gap closed, so you keep that core engagement the whole time. This time you're going to rise up onto your toes at the same time and then circle the arms back down, so slightly different pathway with the arms. So again, we're still lifting up through the core, the ribs still closed down towards the hip bones. And just making sure that you're pushing over your big toes so the ankles aren't flaring out to the sides. You want to go straight up the middle and down again. This time you're going to add in at the bottom, so you're going to rise up as normal. As soon as you come down, you're going to sit into your squat, lifting the arms up to shoulder height, and then again. So you want to keep the movement flowing along with your breath. So breathe in to lift up, and then breathe out as you sink down. So all we're doing is transferring the weight from the toes into the heels. So we should be warming up a little bit now, getting the blood flowing around the body, using all the major joints, warming them up, ready for our session. One more. Yeah, back to our neutral starting position, and then I want you to take your hands to your hips. I'm just going to rock forwards and back. So I'm trying to keep my body in a straight line, transferring over the toes and then back into the heels. So most important thing is hips stay over your heels, shoulders stay over your hips the whole time. So you're trying to keep this whole area nice and solid. So really push yourself, see how far you can go without falling over. Test that core strength. And then settle back to the middle, and then the same thing, but side to side. So again, making sure the body stays in a straight line. Both feet are kind of staying on the floor here, so not going too far. and then just come back to the middle again. We're going to put all that together. So you're going to go round in a circle. So you come forward into the toes, round to the outside of the foot, back to the heels, other side, back to the front. So you want to make it as smooth a circle as you can. And again, you can make it as big as you can. The more you want to test that core strength and balance. It's kind of like you're massaging your feet into the floor. And then we're going to change direction, so exactly the same thing. Take the circle the other way. One more. And back to the middle. So now we've worked out where the weight can go in that full circle, and you want to be bang in the middle of all of those possible positions. So from here, we're going to breathe in, lift up even taller than you already are. As you breathe out, we're going to lead with the head and then come into a side bend. Breathe in to come back to the middle, and then breathe out to go the other way. So as you come up, you should feel your sides, your obliques here, squeezing and contracting to bring you back up. And I'm going to start to make it a little bit bigger, so you can look down towards that side and allow this hand to draw up the side of the rib cage. And then keep that moving so it becomes more of a sequence. And then this time, as you come into the side bend, you can slide the opposite foot and the opposite arm out. So get the side bend first, and then slide. Bring everything up together. Last one. Good. Shake it out. Find that neutral position again, and we're going to take some twists. So I want you to bring your hands into prayer, into your sternum, elbows up nice and high. Don't let them drop. You want to keep some engagement. So think about drawing your shoulder blades down your spine. So all this part of your back is engaged and pulling down into your core and then into the front as well. So with that core stability, you're going to breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, you're going to turn the head first, and then let the upper body turn into a twist. Breathe in to come back to centre, and then go the other way as you breathe out. So I don't want you to push it too far. Go as far as you can, and as far as your body allows you to. What I want you to think about is keeping the hip bones shining forwards the whole time. So if you imagine you've got headlights on your hips, you want those headlights to be shining straight forward. You don't want them to twist off the road. So from there, think about putting your opposite hip in the opposite direction that you're twisting, and that's going to help you to keep your hips nice and square. This time, you're going to stack the wrists, bring the hands in front of you, so about shoulder height, still thinking about pulling your shoulder blades down your spine, and then take exactly the same move but with just the different arm position. Last one here. And then one more option with the arms. So you're going to take them in front of you, so not all the way to the side, slightly in front. If you wiggle your fingers, you should be able to see them when you're looking forwards. So they're about shoulder height again, still pressing down in your back. And then you're going to take exactly the same move again, but this time you're going to focus on keeping the same angle in the arms. So the arms don't move at all, it's just your torso and your core. Last one each side. Back to the middle and just float the arms back down. Shake those arms out, give them a bit of a rest, and then you're going to find your balance on one leg. Put your hands on your hips to help you balance. So find that balance, no weight if any on this front foot, and then we're going to just lift and lower the knee down. So as high as you can while keeping your pelvis in a neutral position. So what you don't want to do is start to tuck the pelvis and then ruin your posture. You're going to keep everything else still, and it's just the leg that is moving. So we're still lifting up through the core, still got that engagement, still drawing the shoulders down and focusing on that balance. So you want to focus on the spot in front of you, preferably something that isn't moving, to help you with your balance here. And then as soon as you're ready, you're going to try not to put that foot down at all. So if you need to, you can tap down to the floor, that's fine. But as soon as you can, I want you to try and not tap down at all. So you're keeping that foot just hovering off the floor as you lower it. Last one. Good, now change legs, give that one a bit of a shake out. Find your balance on the other leg. Start with the toe tap down, lift up nice and tall, and then start to lift and lower that knee. As soon as you can, start to not put that foot down. Think about gently drawing your belly button into your spine to keep that core engaged. Two more. Good, relax. Shake it out, and then if you have a mat, you're going to come to the end of your mat. If you're not on a mat, just make sure you've got space in front of you. So we're going to take a roll down now. So you're going to breathe in, lift up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, and then as you breathe out, you're going to tuck the chin in first, then let the shoulders roll forwards, and then one vertebrae at a time, you're going to roll down through your spine as far as you can. Once you've got down to wherever the bottom is for you, you're going to take a nice deep breath in, and then you're going to slowly roll back up as you breathe out. Head should be the last thing to come up. We're going to take a deep breath in, roll the shoulders back, reset the posture, and then go again. So we're going to do a few of these just to warm up that spine. You want as much articulation through the spine as you possibly can. Try and let the arms just hang from the shoulders. One more like that, and then we're going to add on the next one. Right, on this next one, we're going to roll down, and then when you get to the bottom, we are going to walk out into a plank position. So as soon as you get there, you can bend your knees, walk the hands forwards into your plank position. So we want hands under the shoulders, nice long line through the body, pulling the belly button in, keeping the hips lifted, but not too high, so we don't want to be here. The hips want to be in line. Think about pushing away from the floor. If you need to, you can pop your knees down to in a 3/4 plank. I'm not going to be here long, but we are going to take a few more deep breaths here. Let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more deep breath. And then you're going to drop the knees, push back onto your heels into child's pose. We're reaching the arms forwards, head can relax down to the floor. And just take a few deep breaths here to reset and relax. When you're ready, you're going to come up onto hands and knees, so we're in an all-fours position. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We want a nice engagement throughout the core still, so if you've got pulling that belly button in, don't just let it hang down. Make sure you've got enough room in front of you and behind you. So from here, you're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to slide one foot along the mat, breathe in to bring it back underneath the hip, and then switch slides. So you want to try and keep your weight equal in the middle, so we're not shifting side to side too much. And we're really working that core. As soon as you're comfortable with that, you can then add in the opposite arm sliding forwards. Next option, adding on, you're going to slide forwards and then lift up, long line through the body, lower down and slide back in. So it's just that extension, lifting up, squeezing the glutes slightly to lift that leg, and then sliding it back in with control. So the slower you can do this, the better. Last one here. And then you're just going to sit back on your heels into child's pose again. Reach the hands forward. And then when you're ready, we're going to come all the way out onto our stomachs on the mat. So I'm going to move mine a little bit. So we're going to come all the way out, make a little pillow for your head with your hands, and then relax your head all the way down. From here, you're going to start with your chin tucked in, head completely relaxed. You're going to take a nice deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to slowly lift your head and shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades down your spine as you lift up. Take a deep breath in at the top of your movement, so once you can't lift any higher, and then breathe out as you slowly lower down. Breathe in to prepare at the bottom, and then go again. So the most important thing is that you keep your chin tucked in, so you're looking down at your hands the whole time. We don't want to crease the neck and look in front of us. We're going to keep looking down directly in front of you on the mat. And then I want you to think about pulling your belly button away from the mat into your stomach to keep your core engaged as much as you can, and then sliding the shoulder blades all the way down the spine to help you lift a little bit higher before you come down. Last one here. And relax down in this position. From there, when you're ready, you're going to transfer over onto your back, so however you want to do that. So we're going to lie on our back, our knees are pointing up to the ceiling, pelvis in neutral, and this is going to be our starting position. From here, all we're going to do to start with is just hip and tilt the pelvis. So think about pulling your pubic bone up towards your belly button, and then releasing and pressing the tailbone down into the mat. So we're keeping the lower back on the floor, and just focusing on isolating the pelvis, tipping it upwards and then downwards. You should feel your core start to switch on a little bit more with each motion. And then from there, I want you to just start to decrease that movement. Start to make it smaller so that you can settle somewhere in the middle until you find that neutral pelvis. So you don't want to be tucked all the way up or tilted all the way down towards the floor either. You're going to find that neutral position, wherever that is for you. It will be slightly different for everyone. From here, all we're going to do is breathe in to prepare, and then as you breathe out, you're going to lift one knee up over the hip and gently put it down and swap legs. So you're breathing out to lift and breathing in to lower. I'm going to make sure that the knee is directly over the hip so you get that 90-degree angle, and your shin should be parallel to the floor. We want you to imagine that the floor is made of really thin ice or glass, so you've got to be really careful when you put that foot down. You want as much control as possible. So throughout the next few minutes, I'm going to build up from this exercise. So if this is enough for you and this is working your core and you find it quite hard to stay stable and with your weight in the middle, stick with this exercise, or you can always come back down a level as I start to add on. So if you are comfortable with this and you want to move on, the next level is to lift one leg, lift the other leg, one leg down, and then the other leg down. And with this one, you're going to swap which leg goes first each time, so we're getting both sides. The most important thing is to keep the pelvis in a nice and neutral position. We don't want to let it tilt up towards us or tilt away into an anterior tilt either throughout the exercise. So if it helps, you can put your hands on your hips, and that is just going to help you be more aware if you're moving or not. Last one here. And then remember, if that's enough for you, you can stay with that. Or next option, you're going to lift one leg up and then the other one. This is going to be our starting position. So knees are over the hips, shins are pretty much parallel. From here, you're going to breathe in to prepare again. This time as you breathe out, you're going to tap one toe down, bring it back up, and then change legs. So you want to keep the same angle in the knee and think about taking the toe further away from you than you might think. Still focusing on keeping that neutral pelvis. Don't let your back arch. It's fine to have a natural curve in your back, but you don't want a full-on gap underneath you. Think about sucking that belly button in. So with this one, you should start to feel your lower abdominals start to engage a little bit more. Next option, if you want it, you can start to straighten and extend the leg instead of taking it down to the floor. So again, there's options here. So you can keep the leg nice and high at about 45 degrees, like so. Or if your hips allow and your core strength allows, you can take the leg as low as you'd like. So it can be literally just off the floor. If you can keep your pelvis in a neutral position without your back arching too much off the floor. Remember, you should be breathing out as the leg goes out, breathing in to bring it back in. One more each side. And then just hug the knees into the chest. Relax here for a few seconds before we move on. So you can go back to any of those options we've already done, or we're going to move on again. So we were just doing extend the leg out and in. The next one to add on from this is to lift the head and shoulders. So keeping the chin tucked in, so you're looking directly in front of you. And then as the leg shoots out, you're going to hug the opposite leg in. And then switch. So you're aiming to keep your shoulder blades off the floor. So you start to engage the upper abdominals as well as those lower ones. One more. And hug both knees in, relax the head and shoulders down. From here, gently put both feet back down, find that neutral pelvis. And with this time, you're going to lift one knee and then the opposite arm is going to come up over the shoulder as well. So from the starting position, you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you can take the arm and the leg away from each other as far as you can, and then breathe in to bring it back to the middle. So stay on the same side, still focusing on that core strength. So you want to think about drawing the ribs down towards the hips, closing that gap, belly button drawing in towards your spine, and keeping that neutral pelvis at the same time. If this is okay for you, you can add the opposite arm as well, so you have to focus a little bit more on balancing. Two more here. And then both arms down, pop that leg down, and we do it on the other side. So lift the knee up over the hip, opposite arm, start to take it away and back in. So remember, breathe out as the legs go out, breathe in so you come back to meet. When you're ready, you can add in that second arm, focusing on keeping everything nice and balanced. Two more. And arms down, foot down. I'm going to do one more variation in this position. If you do want to go back to any of the ones that we've already done, you can do that. If not, we're going to move on. So I want you to lift both knees up. In fact, we're going to come into the touch position. So head and shoulders lifted, just holding on behind the knees. From here, so we're all contracted, tailbone lifted, knees pulling into the chest, shoulders off the floor. From here, you're going to extend the legs, extend the arms, and then circle the arms back in as the legs come in. So again, your legs can go as low as you can control them. Two more. And relax the head and shoulders. Keep the knees into the chest and gently rock side to side to ease that off. And when you're ready, gently float the feet back to the floor. Make sure they're hip distance, knees pointing up to the ceiling, and bring your hands down by your sides. Shoulders away from your ears, ribs down towards your hips. From here, we're going to press into the palms of the hands, press into the heels of the feet, and then you're going to start to come up into a shoulder bridge. So you're going to start that pelvic tilt, pivot bone up towards your belly button, and then you're going to keep healing one vertebrae at a time, as much articulation as you can, up into your shoulder bridge. Now you don't have to come all the way up in the first one, or at all. Take a deep breath in at the top, and then slowly lower down. Again, one vertebrae at a time. Try and relax the glutes on the way down, so you're really using your spine to articulate on the way down. Release the tailbone at the bottom, take a deep breath in, and then you're going to go again as you breathe out. So remember, starting with that pelvic tilt, and then healing one vertebrae at a time off the floor, as high as you want to come. Pressing the knees forward over the toes. Deep breath in at the top of your movement, and then rolling back down, one vertebrae at a time, relaxing the glutes. Release the tailbone at the bottom, and repeat. The more you press into your palms at the same time, you're going to feel more of a connection to your pelvic floor. This time, if you want to, we're going to add it at the top. So you're going to breathe in as normal, roll up. When you get to the top, you're going to hold it there, don't let the hips drop. You're going to bring the arms up and over, straight back down, and then roll down. So just holding that bridge very slightly longer. And again. Two more here. the chest, hug them in here. From here, you're going to take your arms out nice and wide, keep the knees lifted, and slowly lower them over to one side. Turn your head in the opposite direction, and just relax here. And try and get both shoulder blades down on the floor, and feel that twist through your spine. You're going to bring your legs back up to the middle and slowly lower to the other side. Turn the head in the other direction. Gently come back to the middle again. You're going to put one leg down and hug the other knee into your chest as tight as you can. And then when you're ready, you're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to extend that leg up to the ceiling. So you should feel a nice stretch down the back of your leg. If you don't have any back problems or sciatica or anything like that, you can flex your foot and then you get a deeper stretch. Bring that foot back down to the floor, and let's repeat that on the other side. So you're going to hug the knee in as tight as you can first. Take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, slowly extend that leg. So attempting to straighten the leg as much as you can. If you want to, flex the foot, get that deeper stretch, and think about pressing your tailbone down into the mat. Relax, bring it back in, hug both knees into the chest again, gently rock side to side. And then rock forwards and back. And you can slowly rock yourself up to sitting in your own time. From there, we're going to come into a seated position. So I want one leg bent in front of you and the other leg bent behind you. From here, as much as you can, everyone is slightly different. I want you to try and get both hip bones on the floor, both sitting bones down, so we shouldn't be too lifted on one side. So you might need to adjust where your legs are, but as much as you can, try and get both sitting bones down. From here, you're going to grab hold of this ankle that's behind you, reach up with the opposite arm, and then take over into a side bend, turning the head and feeling that stretch. You're going to come straight back out a bit, put this hand on the floor, reach the other hand up and slide bend the other way. And again, back to holding the ankle, reach up, tip over, and back again. One more time. Back to the middle, switch the legs over and we'll just repeat that on the other side. So you might feel that your legs need to be in a slightly different position on this side, so just figure that out. And when you're ready, grab hold of the ankle, reach up, sit over into the side bend as far as you can, and recover, switch sides. Last one. And back to the the middle. Bring both your legs in front of you. Straight if you can, if not you can put your feet down. But if not, straight legs if you can, and then we're just going to walk the hands forward to get that hamstring stretch. Once you've gone as far as you can, you're going to drop the head and allow the weight of your head to pull you closer towards your legs. If you want a deeper stretch, you can activate the feet and flex them. If not, just let the feet relax. Slowly walk the hands back in, and then just come into a comfortable seated position. So you might want to keep your legs in front of you, or you can cross them up onto kneeling, whatever you like. And we're just going to bring the hands to the rib cage and finish off with a few deep breaths to close our session. So you're going to breathe in through your nose as deep as you can, through your rib cage, expand sideways. And then as you breathe out through your mouth, you should feel your hands get a little bit closer together. So focusing on lateral thoracic breathing. One more time. And just relax the hands down. Take one more deep breath in, reaching up towards the ceiling. And out, bring the hands back down. And just bring your hands up to give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you very much, guys. Let me know how you got on, and I hope you enjoyed this class.